Hey, 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 what up, though? Everybody, got your man, your friend, and family member, Braylon Lee here. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged, in my opinions, for entertainment purposes only. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged, in my opinions, for entertainment purposes only. Once again, everything on this channel is alleged, in my opinion, is for entertainment purposes only. So listen. This is one of three, okay? I usually do these on Fridays, but y'all, I go on tour pretty much every day. I try to rest on Thursdays and Sundays, right? So, but I got y'all, because I did miss doing this. So, higher is weighing, low is available, but either way, we are live on a virtual tour destination round up. Okay, so with that being said, let me take down this iconic intro here and then put up this overlay here for y'all. Let me take this down here. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Disclaimer: all topics are entertainment purposes only, and none of the information presented in this video should be taken as fact, and everything is alleged. So with that being said, let's get to the game doing what we do, because y'all, this week or last week rather was a huge week. So we're gonna get started here with Anonymous T. I have to tell you, this was April 14th, y'all. This really broke my heart to hear Anonymous T not being our Anonymous T over some petty bull that should not have happened to her. As you guys know, me and Shay Renee went through that. And I did reach out because at the beginning and end of the day, we need to support the good ones that are out here. We need to support the ones that are about the purpose. And most of all, we need to invest in those who are always, who is always creating a space for everybody to feel included. And, you know, it really did break my heart, and I went off. Like I said, if it did not apply to you, let it fly. But if you let it fly, it must have applied to you. I was so damn heated because it's just like, really, is this what we're doing? So other accounts can do this, that, and the third, but yet they still up where they can come through in another fashion. I'm not sorry to say that. So Anonymous T, love you, and you sound back to yourself. And by the way, I'm just recapping this week. Okay, so Anonymous T is good. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I usually do this every Friday where I take some of the biggest destinations of the week and give them to you rather in a virtual tour destination roundup, because not everybody is able to come to the tour. So this is a way for you guys to still be able to be supportive of the tour. But yes, so glad that Anonymous T is doing well. Love you, and thank you, and keep being amazing, and keep being amazing. All right, y'all, let's get in with some Disney news, everybody. Yes, indeed, some Disney news. Y'all, it looks like Disney parks, specifically Walt Disney World, may be on a delay with their projects because of the tariffs. And I have to tell you, there is not enough that Disney could do to beat Epic Universe. I was on with Ron E. Bradley from Follow the Bradley's Fun. By the way, like, comment, share, subscribe to Follow the Bradley's Fun. I was on there this morning. Had a good time, and apparently the new the new villain show comes out 5 days after the grand opening of Epic Universe. It's just like Disney has to recognize two things, right? Be about imagination, not memorization, and also to recognize that kids grow up. And kids growing up does not mean that you add more things that adults can do, but you step up the experiences of sights, wonder, sound, and everything in between, right? Because to be honest with you, there are so many, for example, with Epcot. Epcot was supposed to be the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And it was supposed to be a living, breathing community. Unfortunately, because Walt Disney passed away, his dream wasn't able to be realized. But they turned it into basically a modern World's Fair showcase with a actual World's Fair, with an actual World Showcase where you can travel around the world in a single day. But there's so many different technology companies and entrepreneur companies that they will gladly sponsor some attractions at Disney, but Disney, you also have to let them be creative. Because at this point, you might as well do what I suggested Six Flags to do and be the theme park of the fans. Basically, you bring up some projects that you guys, basically just you basically said these projects are dead, and you put it to a vote, and then whichever projects receive the most votes, you guys make those projects happen unequivocally. Okay, and also too, you guys have 20th Century Fox, right? So are y'all utilizing that catalog at all, or no? Because the way Hollywood Studios is looking like right now, it should be Disney's Imaginewood Studios, which is imagination and Hollywood combined into, one park. And honestly, tell you the truth, with so many different content creators on YouTube and on social media, like, do you not know how many animation YouTubers there are right now? That it would be cool if the art of Disney animation came back, or the art of animation as an attraction came back. You flew in some animator YouTubers and you gave them housing at Disney Hotel, and they get to be a part of the attraction. Like, y'all, everything, well, not everything that is okay, new again rather, but majority of the things that you guys have done, people still love. You guys just have to remember who you are. And people still love Disney. I'm still rooting for Disney, but also too, I call stripes and solids like I see them. You know what I mean? So it's just, it is what it is, but yeah, y'all are not going to be Epic Universe this summer. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It is really just not happening at all. No. All right, y'all. More virtual tour destination roundup coming up right from this space right here, right now. Mr. Sean Kingston. My Lord Jesus, man, you and your mama being arrested for wire fraud, man. Like, dude, like you went from beautiful girls hitting 1 billion views on YouTube, which, my Lord Jesus, I only imagine what that YouTube check was, and and to get your mom involved, man, like, come on. And then you had to give up a family member's home for collateral just because you and your mom can be responsible. Like, dude, do you not know, like, with social media, like, this space in time is the era of the comeback? Like, bro, there had to be something you could have done. Like, did you not know about Cameo, and you could do cameos and stuff? Like, Nikki Blonsky has been doing cameos and has been making bank. She's like the #1 person on Cameo right now. But dude, just that was uncouth. That was uncalled for. That was unnecessary. Like, to do that to your mom, and just no. Listen, I know. Well, I'll say this. I only imagine what it is when you go from nothing to something, right? And you supposedly have to keep up an image because that's what people want to see. I'm like this. I would rather have a paid off Honda Accord and a paid off $5 million home and have my media career so good where by the time they knock on the door, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because nothing lasts forever. If you hear a career that's lasted 20, 30, 40, 50 years, God bless you. That is amazing. Even 10 years, hell, even 5 years at this point is amazing in this climate. But Sean Kingston, that was uncalled for. You did not have to do that. You were better than that. You really, really were. So it was It was quite sad. It was quite sad. It was quite sad. Speaking of quite sad, Gisele Bryant. Y'all, this angered me so much because basically on the Reasonably Shady podcast from the Black Fed Network from Charmaine the Guy, right? Gisele Bryant and Roberto Juan's roommate, Regular Robin, shout out to Kim Byer. They were on their podcast talking about a little bit of everything, and Gisele said that she was visiting Adora at Hampton University, and there were 19-year-olds hitting on Gisele. And Gisele said, I can only use them for one thing. Now, I'm like, wait a damn minute. Now, if a man were to say this, he would be dragged through hell and the multiverses of hell. And rightfully so. Like, Gisele, you can't say that. You cannot say that. You cannot say that, child. That was just uncouth. That was just, like, in the words of Jimmy Fallon, like, ow. Like, ow. Like, ow. Like, and not to mention, dude, like, do you not know the embarrassment your daughter Adora is going to be going through now? Just like, in class, like, hey, so, when's your mom coming? she a fine one. Like, no child should be going through that. Like what the hell is wrong with you? I was just slapping my gas. I really was. I'm like, I know. It's a damn well. Ain't no way in there that Gisele Bryant said this out of her ever. I know she did. I know she did. I know she did. Like, there has to be a line, y'all. At some point in time, damn it, right? There has to be somewhat of a line. But yeah, I was just flapping the gas. I really, really was. I was just taken aback. I didn't know what to say, how to say. Y'all should have saw my face on Braylon's virtual tour live. I was just, ooh. Because as you guys know, there are not just men that, do the most to kids. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. To clothing for YouTube purposes, but also women also do the most to kids as well. I'm not saying that Gisele is doing that, okay? But to say that out of her mouth of that, there's only one thing I can do with 19-year-olds. Like, come on now. That was just, no. So, and then y'all Kingdom Chat. Y'all, this week, or last week rather, was the biggest week ever. I mean, ever. But more weeks like that to come in terms of just blessings, because, I mean, honestly, it was, so like 11 days ago, she was supposed to do it on April 15th, right? That live that we did here, 596 views, 21 likes, 11 comments. Then she moved it. Then she moved it up to. Let's see here. Hang on, y'all, because I want to make sure that we get this right. So I made that announcement. So let me flip reverse ride it back. So the one that was 11 days ago, 596 views, 21 likes, 11 comments. That was the announcement. Okay, that was the announcement. That video was on April 9th. Then the next video was April 15th when she was supposed to do the event. That was the Kenya Moore Confessionals YouTube live. 8,300 views, 121 likes, 75 comments, right? So we were waiting, and to no avail. So then she moved up to Friday, right? She moved up to Friday. This is day 2. That live got 8,800 views, 168 likes, and 4 comments. And then she finally did it on Saturday. And that video, right, that live stream has 722 views and 53 likes. So honestly, at this point, I think the majority from what I saw was, in the bushes and campfires. I was in campfires bushes. Just reading the chat, because to me, I feel like after this big of a cultural moment as a content creator, sometimes you do need to be still and feel the temperature of everybody. And from what I have seen, I mean, Conscious TV, shout out to him and many others. Most of them said that Kenya could have kept this, and that there was nothing new, and she still did what she did. And I think everybody is saying that what Brittany did was dead wrong. But also too, we're not going to negate Kenya's actions, because obviously Bravo felt the way that they did, to the point where they suspended her indefinitely. And although Kenya does not like what Bravo said, Britt did not break the policy. Like, it is what it is at that part, Uno out. You thought you won the Uno game. You thought you had a draw 4 in your hand, and little did you know, you forgot that y'all were playing house rules, and Bravo just put 4 draw 4 wild cards down, and your ass was out. So it is what it is. Sunday's episode aired last night. Of course, we're talking about it tonight at 8 o'clock. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah, like, it was what it was. And by the way, for everybody, it is so funny when social commentators and cultural commentators are commenting on big cultural experiences. Some people may say, well, you're a Kenya hater, or this, that, or the third. It's just like, guys, here's a pro tip. If you really want to know how somebody is, look at their content before you comment in their live chat. Because believe me, I'll cover a lot more than just can get more. Okay. So, but yeah, that was a moment in time. Yes, indeed. So let me get back to you. Okay, y'all. So speaking of moments in time, A1 steak sauce. Oh my Lord, y'all, this was crazy. This was absolutely crazy. So Lauren, what's the woman's name, John? Let me see here. Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. So Linda McMahon was at a conference, and she confused AI, artificial intelligence, for A1 steak sauce. Y'all, this is not a joke. This is very real. I was just like, I know you're joking, right? But then A1 steak sauce trolled Linda McMahon by saying, for educational purposes only. I'm just like, you know what? I think the A1 top tier scholarship and grant program should be a thing. I think the A1 top tier merchandise line should be a thing, where proceeds from that merchandise line go to the scholarship and the grants. But A1 did their good one. You know what I mean? I thought it was just hilarious. It was just like, blow juice for everybody else who voted for him. Are you happy with what you got? And this is just year 1. We got 4 years of this ish. Oh Lord, I just couldn't take it. I just cannot take it. I just simply could not take it. Sincerely, it was just. I mean, listen, it's one thing to, maybe forget your car keys, right? It's one thing where, maybe you forgot to put some cologne on, some perfume on. But when you forget the difference between AI, for artificial intelligence, and A1 steak sauce, you have a problem. You have a legitimate problem. How old is Linda McMahon? Let's see. How old is Linda McMahon? She is 76 years old. You know what? See, this is why sometimes having somebody in their 40s, in their 50s, you know what I mean? They have lived life, but they still have their faculties, you know what I mean? So just listen, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if you let it fly, it must apply. But that was just I have. By the way, Instagram could be sold. That's right. Meta or Facebook is in a FTC lawsuit right now because the government thinks that Facebook has monopoly, and so the government has to prove that Instagram and WhatsApp are ways that friends and family connect with each other. Like, of course they are. Like the Instagram Live, it's just as viral in the same way as a YouTube Live. You know what I mean? And then WhatsApp, that is, oh my God, that's like the free. That's the freest communication tool in the world because you can have a WhatsApp number. Well, it's almost like Skype, really. You can video call on there, you can audio call on there, so it's a little bit of everything. But yeah, like I said, I think Instagram. If Instagram, does get sold, I think it will probably. I'm thinking it probably gets sold to Disney. Because Disney has been trying to get into the social media world for a long time. They had Club Penguin, Virtual Magic Kingdom, Toontown Online. They just did like what, $1.5 billion investment into Epic Games. So yeah, child. Yeah. So, but we'll see. I mean, Instagram is definitely up for grabs for sure for many companies. And I think the biggest thing that they have to do is, get into long form content. They had Instagram TV. Instagram TV was ahead of TikTok on that because, we talked about here on Room for Live that TikTok was experimenting with 60-minute uploads. So, imagine, game shows, talk shows, podcasts, imagine, Disney buys Instagram and you get a Instagram Studios deal from Disney, and then your content's on Hulu, ESPN Plus, or Disney Plus. Now, for some of you, that probably won't. Well, Bray, what they do, ABC and cable, they will probably put it on cable before ABC because cable you can be a little more loose than you can on network television. So that is my take on that right there. More virtual tour roundup coming up right from the space right here, right now. Tracee Ellis Ross had all of our hearts when she talked about, mourning the life that she lost, right? Of, not having a husband and not having kids, but also too, she didn't want to not have the right partner either. And I genuinely appreciate that because I think just because someone is single doesn't mean that they don't want more in life. It's easier to protect your peace than to give your peace. Oh my Lord. That was a word. It's easier to protect your peace than to give your peace. It's easier to protect your peace than to give your peace. And so I appreciate Tracee Ellis Ross for saying this because it's not just women, that's going through this. There's also some men that they've wanted to be fathers and, they've wanted to be and they want to be somebody's husband. There are good men out here. And that's the thing I really don't get with these fucking gender wars. Like, I swear, anybody can just pick up a microphone and feel like they're famous, right? Just because, and I always say this too, it's one thing to call yourself, it's another thing to chosen. There are no bad men or no bad women, okay? It is based on experiences, okay? Because here's the thing. There are bad women, there are bad men, there are good men, there are good women. Like, cut the bullshit. Because at this point, it's creating that type of content is just to exist. Sincerely. Like, just say you're hurt, you had a bad experience, and it didn't go your way, but you're still open to love. And if you're not open to love, it's okay, but don't do the most just to exist, because it is draining energy. But I really want to give Tracee Ellis Ross some love in this virtual tour destination roundup, because I just thought that was just brilliant. And by the way, shout out to Michelle Obama and her brother for providing that space. And shout out to Tracee Ellis Ross for recognizing her humanity as well. Speaking of trying to recognize humanity, Billy McFarland, ladies and gentlemen, Billy McFarland. As you all know, the Fire Festival 2 was supposed to be in Mujeres, but then the original ordinance were in the middle of the ocean, and they moved to Playa del Carmen, and both city governments said that was not happening. So now Fire Festival is on pause, and people are getting refunds, and so it's just like, Billy, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Just like I said, you should have done a TV show. You should have done a movie series, and just say, hey, listen, I need this much because I need to pay off all this debt. And listen, do what you could. Or you know what? You could create the fire report. Like, hey, y'all, I created a huge fire, 2 of them actually. And so I'm going to be reporting on the fires in the industry. Now, would it be a hard hill to climb? Sure, because nobody's going to want to believe somebody who is reporting on fires, who created fires. But in the same token, podcasts are huge. If you can find the right podcasting studio that will take you on, you can make some bank. You know what I mean? But that was just, yeah, bro, that was not cool. That was not cool. That was not cool at all. But you know what was cool, though? And I got to get myself adjusted for this. Give me a moment, please. Because I got to get myself adjusted for this. Because, whenever we do, Braylon's Virtual Tour Destination Roundup, we talk about what happened in the week that was. But every once in a while, right? Sometimes you're mentioned in your own recap. Like this. That is Kim Pyre and We Go Podcast smiling at my presence on that live where the Dark Side Carlos King, or the what was it, Surviving Carlos King live, and it was just that was a perfect moment. So that was a cool moment. You know what else was a cool moment too? I gotta do it, y'all. I have to do it. Listen. Oh, hang on. Let me take down the banner, child. Let me take down the banner. We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it to 3,000 subscribers. Listen, y'all. There is not enough words. There's not enough gifts. There is not nearly enough time to say thank you, love you, and appreciate you truly. Like I said in my on my community wall, I really was thinking of the storehouse story and how that woman felt like, I'm so afraid of my storehouse not having what I worked for in it. And, God said to that woman that, okay, if I created these things to be in your storehouse, right? And I made a way for you to get these things, and I made you so you can be in this storehouse, and I made the storehouse for these things to be stored in the storehouse, then who's to say that I ain't got more for you? It took some months to be still and recognize consistency plus tenacity equals your destiny. That's my life formula. It has never failed me ever, and never has, never will. So to everybody who rocks with me the long way, to all of the new virtual travelers, virtual tourists, the virtual tour family, just know from the bottom of my heart, the depths of my soul, the foundation of my being, I love you, I value, I appreciate you all. I'm going to give you the best I have. You give me the best you have, and we're going to make the best of what can be together. Understand? So I wanted to showcase this because it's important to showcase your own receipts. Y'all, that is it right there. Look at the fireworks right there. Hi. You normally don't see me on Braylon's Virtual Tour Destination Roundup, but as the fireworks are going off behind me, I want you guys to see my face and how grateful I am to each and every single one of you. I truly thought to myself, of what is that song? Oh, as the fireworks are going off, watch the Lord see you through, because after you've done all you can, you just stand. From Donnie McClurkin. And listen, sometimes we have to allow God to work. And I think that is really the reason why some of us are always to our demise and some of us are always on the rise. It's because some of us don't know how to be still, allow God to be God. Because I was just like, really, God, you see what's going on? He's like, do you not know that you're a part of the Calvary? What do you always say about the bank of just enough? The checks always bounce, Braylon. That's what you say, your audience. You say the bank of abundance, God's checks always clear. I'm about to clear this check for you. You keep doing what you're supposed to do. I'm about to put some super on your natural. You come from the Calvary, so you got benefits. I gotta tell you, these right here are not bad benefits. Y'all, like I said, one love, much love, all love. I feel the love. And I send it right back to you. Bye, everybody. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.